Greetings and salutations, everyone. First off, I just want to say I just reached 100 subscribers, and I'm super duper duper happy about that. I've I finally reached it. I'm so happy. I'm just kidding. Kidding about the crying part, but I am really excited. I want to thank you. If you are one of my subscribers, and even if you're not, if you're just viewing, thank you as always for giving me the time of day. Today we are drawing Link, and yes, that means we are announcing the winner, and we are going to be drawing all Legend of Zelda characters. I lied, just kidding. We're not really going to be drawing all Legend of Zelda characters, because firstly, that's a lot, and secondly, no, I just wanted something to draw while I was answering these questions, because today is the Q&A special. So, let's get into it. This is the design from the new Breath of the Wild Legend of Zelda game that just came out. I'm super excited for that. Alright, so I'm just going to go ahead and go through these questions as free-flowing as I can. Some are asked by friends, some are asked by you, the commenters, and then at the end I'll announce all those things that I was going to announce. Okay, so here we go. What is your driving force in life? That is a very tough question. It's a very broad question as well. How should I answer this? What is your driving force in life? I don't want to sound cheeky or cheesy, but just my beliefs and being able to see the positivity in the world and wanting to add to that positivity. Think of it as a goal, and at the same time I don't have to think about it all the time. It just it's innate, and I just think, or I just live my life as if, I just want to be a good person and just spread positivity. Hopefully I can be a positive force in anyone who comes across me in their lives. Okay, moving on. How can someone survive having a pocket full of sunshine? That one was given to me by one of my friends. Thank you so much for asking that question. I don't know, how can someone survive a pocket full of sunshine? I feel if you were to have sunshine in your pocket, it must be very hot in there. In fact, so hot that you might die. Especially speaking if there's sun radiating from your pocket. I don't know, ask Natasha Bedingfield. For those of you that don't know, that's the person who sang that song. If you could live in a movie and be a character in said movie for a period of time, who would you be? In a movie? Oh, okay. Okay, for this one, I'd have to choose one of my favorite movies, or a movie in which the world is something or a place that I would like to be in. And for that, I'm gonna cheat, and I'm gonna answer two. Either I want to be Hiccup from How to Train Your Dragon, just because living in a world where there are dragons and I can ride them, and just that whole area that they mapped out in that movie was beautiful. And secondly, I'd also just like to be a hobbit, because a hobbit's life seems like the absolute best life. Second breakfast, just constantly eating. Their metabolism must be so high. Either way, you get the idea. Just a nice little cozy hole in the hill or in the ground, and like just food and drink all the time, good times all around. It just seems very peaceful. All right, moving on. Do you play any sports, or do you have other hobbies? Okay. I do play sports. I play volleyball. I think that's probably my favorite sport of all time. I play volleyball a lot. I love the game. I really like playing. In fact, I liked it so much. There was an anime that came out called Haikyuu, and I watched that. I gravitated towards that. And it turns out other friends of mine who never really played volleyball before watched the show, and they loved it. So we just started sort of playing together and that was a cute little thing of us like coming together based on mutual likes. And the other part of that was, do I have any other hobbies? I do. Drawing is one of them, as you know, but I like filmmaking. That's another one, and editing and stuff like that. Beatboxing, I guess you could call it a hobby. Something that I just do on free time. Sometimes it just slips out. I don't know if I'll be able to do that today. Anyway, next question. Do you believe in true love? Yes, I do. But I don't know how to say or give advice to someone to find it. Like, when it happens, it happens. And honestly, I feel like love is something that you'll feel it, but you're gonna have to work with it. And whenever you get into a relationship, or if you do, look at me turning these simple questions into something much more longer and elaborate than they need to be. But no, if you feel love and you feel that person's worth working with, then, I mean, when you're in a relationship, it's not always going to be up, up, up. There's going to be downs, and the true love comes in when you're willing to work through that together. At least that's where I feel it's most, that's where I see it being felt the most at moments like that, or at least being felt in a very profound way. Okay, anyway, moving on. What motivates you to draw? What does motivate me to draw? I like drawing, for one, so the enjoyment of the action is very motivating. And for me personally, wanting to improve and just be better and get better and better than how I was before. You know, not every time you're gonna pull out a better work than, you know, one before. It's not always gonna happen, because sometimes you'll have off days. That's just natural. However, pushing forward, you know, through those bad days, and then learning more techniques, practicing, you know, it depends on what kind of level you want to get at, really. I'm on a hobbyist sort of level. That's how I'll put myself, even if it seems like my work is pretty good, a little better than just a hobbyist. But like, I draw, and it's always been in my life, and people have said I've been pretty good at it, so I just do it. I like it. Another motivation to draw is, for me, it's very therapeutic, in the sense that I'm focusing on an action, and if I'm worried about something, when I draw, suddenly that worry just disappears. So it helps in that sense as well. All right, next question. Describe your process for making your YouTube videos. Oh, what equipment and programs do you use? Okay. Within the week, well, as you know, I draw something, so then I set up my camera. It is a Canon T3i. It goes for pretty cheap now, at least for as far as DSLRs go. So I set that camera up, and if I have an idea to draw, let's say I'm doing the Pokemon series, and I know that I have to draw Chikorita, then Torchic, and then Mudkip, or whatever, right? So I will draw thumbnail sketches, preferably, so I plan it out ahead of time. Sometimes it doesn't always happen like this, but draw a thumbnail sketch, and then when I get to recording, that's when I set up my camera, and I press record, and I just draw it out, make sure that it's all in view. Most of the time, it's in view. I apologize in the past if it wasn't in view. Anyway, moving on. Then after I record, I send that file into my computer where I edit it. I color correct it, so I make things a little more vibrant, just because from the camera to the paper, and based on my lighting, sometimes the image doesn't always turn out how good it looks to me in real life, as opposed to you looking through the camera, if you get what I mean. So I edit it, and I usually do that. I try to do things as soon as I can before the deadline, so that way I have enough time to make a thumbnail for the video and upload it, and, you know, get all that description stuff and uploading process done. You know, if you'd like to hear more detail on that, I can go into it a little bit more. And program-wise, I edit on Adobe Premiere Pro. Okay, alright. Moving on. What is your favorite book / novel of all time and why? Okay, this is a pretty big one. I'm gonna try and get through this as soon as I can. My favorite book is called The Phantom Tollbooth by Norton Juster. I'm ashamed to say this, but I don't read very much. But when I was younger, I fell in love with this book. It's called, The Phantom Tollbooth, and it was so clever, and the writing was just amazing, at least especially to me as a child at that point, because it was clever, and you could tell that even at a young age. It was doing a lot of wordplay and stuff like that, but all of this in a fantasy sort of setting. And it's a fantasy setting I've never even dreamed of, like, imagining. Never would have thought of imagining, but Norton Juster did, and he described it well. And it has a nice message as well. So there are a lot of reasons for why I liked it. Also, timing-wise, it being one of the books that I actually decided to read at that time. Yeah, it's a good book. You should check it out. Okay, next one. What was your life like before you started posting videos on YouTube? It's very boring. I'll tell you that for sure. It was boring because doing YouTube sort of added more for me to do, even when I was swamped with work. As you know, if I am truly swamped, I will have to give up things that are of least importance. And I'm not saying that YouTube is not important. I mean, I'd say I've been doing pretty good with uploading. However, like if I need to get stuff done, I know that you guys, all of you, would understand if I, took a hiatus. I'd at least try to let you all know, that I can't make it this week, maybe next week, hopefully, but stuff like that. And for that, you can like my Facebook, or maybe I'll even make a YouTube video saying that I'll be on break, but, just stay tuned if you'd like to know stuff like that. Anyway, next up is someone who asked if, do you do commissions? And yes, I do. I do commissions. Now, you can email me. I will put my... you can comment, or you can try and message me here on YouTube, or you can email me, and I will put the email up on the screen right now and in the description. Email me there, and I will get back to you with my commission rates if you are interested in purchasing a commission. If you would like to see a drawing of mine, or if you would like to buy a drawing of mine that I've done on a video before, you can message me privately here on YouTube, and I'll let you know how much it'll be for, and if I have it at all. Next question. What's the best video that you've ever made? That is a tough question. Simply because I don't think I've made my best video, just to be true to the question. I'm pretty sure I know what you mean. Like, what's the best video I've made so far? I mean, I have a few that I really, really like. But like I said before, I'm always trying to improve, so I'll never really see myself, or I'll never really see some of my past works as my best. But I do think that the Trico video turned out super well. People really dig my Bulbasaur, just how that turned out. I still dig it to this day. Froakie was also very nice. There are a ton of them. But yeah, I think Trico turned out to be one of my favorites. Moving on. How did you learn to understand shading and shadows when you draw? Okay. So when learning how to draw, I just picked it up. Didn't have any lessons. That was when I was really young, 3 to 5, maybe 3 to 8. Then when I went to school, they had some art classes, like elective classes for me to take. So naturally, I just hopped on board with those. And I wouldn't really say those helped me specifically in shading, but obviously those lessons helped me understand more about lighting and more about like where the light is when you're drawing, and keep in mind that, so that when you shade, things turn out at least a little more three-dimensional. Some artists choose not to do that just because they want that style to be less three-dimensional, or less like maybe realistic looking. I do, and I wouldn't even say that I'm very good at shading or shadows. I just incorporate it because it's a part of my style and a part of my practice. I hope that answered your question. Okay, and then finally, the last question for today, and then we'll get to the big announcements. If you were a song, what song would you be? And then I'm going to pair this up with another question that was very similar. What is a song that makes you appreciate life and feel at peace? And I'm going to put these songs in the description because how I'm going to answer it is kind of weird and convoluted. Okay, so for the first part of the question, if I were a song, what song would I be? It's hard for me to answer because right now no song really speaks to me on that, like, oh, that's totally me, kind of a personal level. But there are songs, 2 songs in particular, that I would recommend to people because I really think that they're great songs. Anyway, so the first one is Malika by Hiatus Coyote. I will put them on the screen, and I will also put links to them in the description, so don't worry. The second one is How Much a Dollar Cost by Kendrick Lamar. And the last part of the question was, what song makes you appreciate life and feel at peace? And that would be One Day Like This by Elbow. And please do check that song out. It's gorgeous. It's beautiful. Amazing. Okay. I think I'm done answering questions. Hopefully I can bide your time well enough with these questions. But now moving on to the big announcement. What is the series that I will be continuing on with? What's the next series? What is going to be tantalizing your viewing pleasure? I don't know how to describe things. What is going to be getting you excited every week? And that would be the newest game, Overwatch. Yes, that's right. A lot of you voted for that one. And I think it's a very strategic move as well. People have been telling me that going for Overwatch would help it because it's the newest and hottest game out. People are drawing fan art everywhere. People really like the game, and they like the characters a lot too, and the lore that goes into it. So now, I never played Overwatch myself, but I'll try to do at least a little bit of research. And I guess I'll describe a little bit because we're already running on like 20 minutes now, so I might as well describe a little bit more. The drawing that you're seeing right now, Link, think that's how the videos are going to go off in the future. They're going to be more like sketchy, and then I'm just going to ink them. And if I can add color, then I will, but I'm not going to put too much emphasis on that. Just so I can get through this in a nice, concise little piece. One of the main reasons why I'm doing this is because, let's say I'm at a convention, maybe, hopefully, in the future, and people want to ask me for commissions. I want to be able to do things efficiently, so quickly, so with enough time, but also looking good. So that's why I'm sort of doing it in this sense. Not really emphasizing things on color, but just sort of making things a nice, concise piece, just with penciling and inking. Alright then, so we got the new series. I'll get started on that as soon as I can, and then I've answered my questions, and I've picked the winner for the Litten drawing. I will be contacting you soon, so please, if you've commented, wait with bated breath. I shall get to you soon enough. Thank you very much. And I think I've long overstayed my welcome here. As always, you can check out more videos here. Subscribe if you want. Leave a like if you want. Comment below if you want. And share this around with all your friends, but only if you feel so inclined. I'll see you all next week. And as always, stay original.